Greetings all Hellions and sinners, I am Dan, your resident Welsh Helluverse expert. Yeah, how unexpected. As soon as I upload my video covering Charlie's character, they decide to drop the new Helluva Boss short, Big Boss. And how was it? This is easily the worst one we've had, and that is no exaggeration. I mean, I understand that the Helluva shorts have had a mixed response from fans, and I do get it. It's now been over a year since the end of Season 2, and fans are just getting impatient and want to see where the story is going to go. Now, here's the thing, I don't mind the shorts in general. It's more content from the show, just on a smaller scale, but I think I and the majority of fans are now starting to get a bit bored with the repetition of the setup. I'll talk a bit more about that later, but for now let's talk about this latest one. I suppose the biggest problem with the short is that, simply put, it wasn't that funny and was just boring. Blitz doesn't feel appreciated as a boss, so that when he kills a big business CEO, he impersonates him just to get that feeling of appreciation. That does sound like a funny idea, but unfortunately there just isn't enough there to make it enjoyable. Especially as the longer you watch it, it becomes pretty obvious on who this is making fun of. And I put fun in inverted commas there, especially when it comes to the end. In fact, by the time we got to the end, my initial thoughts were, wait, that's it? That's really how we're ending this? It just didn't feel like anything was actually achieved. Yeah, I think the short's biggest problem is the ending. I'm not sure if I should be talking about this, especially with how the political climate is right now, but the ending and the implications are just a bit too close to reality. It didn't feel like a punchline to a joke, but more just a wink and a nod to say, hey, this is a thing that's happening, let's reference it. It's just a poorly timed release that, frankly, I think they should have thought over more clearly and said to themselves, is this the right time to do this particular short? It's just a massive misstep from the team, and admittedly these sort of jokes aren't funny anymore, but just depressing that it's actually happening. Now, admittedly this short has given fans something of note, and that is theorizing where exactly in the timeline this takes place. Up to now, the shorts haven't given us an exact point in time that they take place, aside from the fact that they must take place after Blitz receives the Osmodeus Crystal, as we see him using it throughout the shorts. However, there is one shot in particular that captured fans' attention, and that is the whiteboard in the IMP office. Clearly, this must take place after Apology Tour if Stolas is clearly this heavy in Blitz's mind for him to make this drawing, but another fact is that in this short, Millie is particularly annoyed with how Blitz is handling the situation. And this cannot be when she's pregnant, otherwise we'd see Stolas with them in the office. So we're in that 1 month between Apology Tour and Ghost Fuckers, with Blitz still coping with the aftermath of that episode, and it's starting to get on everyone's nerves. Oh, and apparently Blitz has a praise kink. So that's a thing. Aside from that, this short just had nothing going for it in terms of jokes and watchability. I do feel like these shorts were made primarily for that small minority of people who hate that the show wasn't going to be an episodic killing comedy that the original pilot had made it out to be, instead of the character-driven relationship-heavy drama it is now. And the way these shorts have been, it's just proving why that type of storytelling just wouldn't work. It was alright in the beginning of the show because they were still trying to find their footing, but to sustain it for an entire show would just make it feel like every other adult animated series. This is why for many, that first short that centered on Millie and Sally Mae is still considered the best, because it was about these characters interacting with each other outside of the narrative of the show. We don't have to keep seeing the team going to Earth to kill a randomer we don't know all the time. We want to see those in-between moments when the characters we love are just living their lives. Even the most mundane thing would be enough, just something different. Or even just give us an emotional pull to them, like with Luna and Moxie in their shorts. Overall, this short just didn't do it for me. I am starting to feel the fatigue of the same story beats, and I'm just hoping we get one that was like the first one again. But until we get the announcement for Season 3, this is just what we're gonna get. It doesn't affect my feelings of the show because, as I said, these shorts aren't indicative of the show's quality. I just hope now that it's sooner rather than later. Wait, what do you mean that was Grey Delisle voicing the secretary?